Hi, I'm David Carrier. I'm running for State Senate in the 17th District because I'm very concerned about the economy and the future of our district. Working people can't afford the basics like food, energy, housing, and health care. And now we've seen our retirement savings evaporate with the stock market crash. And over 1 million families have lost their homes in the last year. 1 million more are going to lose them in the next year due to bankruptcies and foreclosures. So I'm frustrated that nothing's being done about it. Deregulations caused the greatest financial collapse since the Great Depression. And I'm not the only one who's losing sleep over it. I've always been politically active, but as the crisis deepened, I realized I had to get more involved. So the problem is global, but the solution's local. We have to protect Washington's economy from the fallout of what's happening in the global economy. And as an economist, I know that the best way to ensure prosperity in the future is to invest in people and to invest in infrastructure. That means that we need to provide affordable education, higher education, job training, health care, affordable housing, and energy solutions that provide independence for the future. These are the keys to economic growth. This is what's going to provide economic security in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carrier. You mentioned health care. And with thousands of uninsured individuals in our state, how would you prioritize the funding for health care? There's so many different pieces to it.
Well, actually, if you look at the way we spend money on health care now, about a third of it goes to overhead costs, administration. And I think the figure is about $1,000 of the average annual insurance premium for an individual is going to cover the uninsured. So the fact is that given the health care system that we now have, we're already covering the uninsured. It's just not in an official way. So there's enough money in the system now to cover everybody. It's just a matter of redistributing and reorganizing that so that the people who are not currently covered can get coverage.
You mentioned, I'm
Do I
sorry.
have more time?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Health Insurance Partnership. It's a solution that's been offered in the state legislature that makes a lot of sense. It's already been extended to small employers in the state. I'd like to see it extended to every employee of the state and every resident of the state. And what that does is it provides affordable health care coverage to every Washington resident, and the costs are shared between employers and employees. And for people that are out of work, they can get a temporary subsidy from the state that they would repay when they finally get a job. So there's no reason that solution couldn't be extended to all Washingtonians, and that's the legislation that I support.
We have the economists predicting that $2.7 billion shortfall. And you mentioned several different pieces, but let's take a look at some of the education. What do you think the state's priorities should be for the four-year colleges or the community colleges with that shortfall?
I think we need to be concerned. I am a college professor part-time, so I know what some of the problems are in the college education system. And what we're finding is that we're moving more and more out of full-time faculty and using adjunct professors in their place. And there's no way an adjunct professor can provide the quality of education that's required. They're not getting paid for being there except for the time that they're teaching class, so they're not available to students outside of class. They can't help students when they run into problems. So the first thing that needs to happen is we need to replace those adjunct professors with full-time faculty. That'll improve the quality of education across the entire system. And after that's taken care of course, we need to prioritize K through 12 funding as well, because students are coming into the college system not adequately prepared for college-level work. So we need to increase the funding for K through 12 education and do a better job of preparing students for post-high school education.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry. Would David Carey get 2 minutes on this since he doesn't have an opponent, or should I just continue at 1 minute?
That's just absolutely fine. We'll continue at 1 minute, but we're going to go right into our closing statements.
Thank you.
You bet.
Go
ahead.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Carrier.
So as I said, the global economic crisis that we're facing seems like it's out of reach and there's nothing we can do about it at the local level, but the solutions are local. As I said, we have to protect Washington's economy against this, and there's things that we can do immediately. To do that, we need to be able to support people and support infrastructure development so that we can provide for future economic growth in our economy, because what's good for people is good for the economy. I want to say that my opponent has a long history of opposing this legislation. He voted against the Climate Action and Green Jobs Bill, which would have provided 25,000 new jobs. I could go on, but and I want to say that I scheduled 3 appointments to talk to him about these issues, and I was with a group of other people, all of us representing nonprofit organizations that were concerned about health care, education, climate change, the issues that we're all concerned about. Two out of those 3 visits, he didn't bother to show up after we'd driven all the way to Olympia to visit him. And on the 3rd appointment, when I asked him what his solution to these problems would be, he of course said the typical partisan response, which is more deregulation. Well, you know, deregulation's been proven now. I think it's been proven to everybody that it doesn't work. It's not a solution. And I asked him what real solutions he had to offer, and he didn't have anything else to say. So clearly, we need a government that's more responsive to voters. We deserve to be better represented, and that means less partisan ideology. It means more common sense, and it means reducing the influence of special interests. My opponent, Don Benton, has received more contributions from special interests and PACs than any other Washington State senator. I am the only candidate for State Senate that has refused all contributions from lobbyists and PACs. I'm going to stand by that commitment because I want to make sure that I represent your interests, not the interests of special interests. So the choice is clear. I invite you to give me a call anytime, email me. I'm open and willing to hear your input, listen to your views, and work on the issues that you care about. And the only way that's going to happen is if you communicate with me. So be sure to go to my website, davidcarrier.org. I've got a blog set up so you can leave your comments on all the issues that are pertinent in this election, and I hope to hear from you. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mr. Carrier.